Don't forget to like and hit subscribe, Grasshoppers. Today we focus on one of the most influential and controversial figures in AI, Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI. You sent in a fascinating interview with him from the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Let's deep dive into what he had to say
Yeah.
and see what WE can learn.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is how Altman's views have evolved over time. Remember, this is the guy behind ChatGPT. He's seen the rapid advancements in AI firsthand, and his perspective really reflects that.
Yeah, it's a long conversation,
Yeah,
but it's packed with some seriously mind-bending stuff. Altman doesn't hold back on anything. He talks about AGI, the future of jobs, the impact of AI on society. It's all on the table.
and one of the things that jumps out is Altman's belief in the inevitability of AI. He sees it as a force that's going to reshape society, bringing both immense benefits and some significant challenges. He compares it to the agricultural and industrial revolutions, emphasizing that humans have always adapted to and integrated new technologies. This isn't a new phenomenon.
Right. And he admits he was wrong about some of his earlier predictions. He initially thought AI would replace blue-collar jobs first. But it's actually shaking up creative fields, like writing and coding, faster than anyone expected.
This really highlights how quickly our assumptions about AI are being flipped on their head. What seemed obvious just a few years ago is already being upended. For our listeners, it means we need to be constantly reevaluating what we think we know about AI.
So what happens when AI can do entire jobs, not just tasks? Millions of people could be out of work. And that's a scary thought.
Altman addresses that head-on. He suggests that some form of universal basic income, UBI, or a long-term unemployment insurance, might be necessary to cushion the blow. For those of you unfamiliar with UBI, it's essentially a guaranteed income provided to every citizen, regardless of their work status.
But he's not saying we should all just sit around collecting checks, right?
Definitely not. Altman emphasizes that people need a sense of agency and purpose. He envisions a future where we share ownership and decision-making in the AI-driven economy.
So it's not about handouts. It's about giving everyone a stake in the future that AI is shaping.
Exactly. And this connects to another interesting part of the conversation, AI in government. Rogan, who's known for his thought-provoking questions, actually suggests the idea of an AI president, making decisions based on data, free from human bias.
That's a pretty radical idea. What does Altman think about that?
He acknowledges the potential for unbiased decisions, but also expresses concerns about giving AI ultimate power. He stresses the need for human oversight, especially considering that AI systems are still far from perfect.
So on the one hand, AI could potentially solve some of humanity's biggest problems. But on the other hand, we need to figure out how to control this incredibly powerful technology before it controls us.
And that's where the concept of AGI comes in. It's the hypothetical point where AI becomes as intelligent as humans, or even surpasses us. Imagine a machine that can learn, adapt, and solve problems at a level beyond anything we've ever seen.
It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does, and Rogan dives right into those sci-fi scenarios, asking Altman about the possibility of AI reaching a godlike level of intelligence and rapidly improving itself.
That's a pretty unsettling thought. What does Altman say to that?
He emphasizes the importance of what he calls short timelines and slow takeoff for AGI.
Now, for our grasshoppers listening, what does that mean exactly?
He believes that the longer it takes for AGI to emerge and the slower its initial development, the more time we have to understand and control it. He seems to think that the gradual advancements we're seeing in AI are a good sign, but stresses that the decisions we make now about regulation and safety protocols are crucial.
So we're laying the groundwork for how humanity will coexist with this incredibly powerful technology in the years to come. What happens next in the conversation? This idea of merging with AI, it makes you wonder about the very essence of what it means to be human. And that's where Rogan takes the conversation next.
He brings up Neuralink, a company that Elon Musk co-founded that's developing brain-computer interfaces. Rogan jumps right into the possibilities, speculating about uploading our consciousness into computers and essentially becoming one with AI.
Okay, now we're getting into some really mind-bending territory. Does Altman buy into this?
He's more grounded in the near-term possibilities of Neuralink. He's particularly interested in external neural interfaces, devices that can read and potentially even communicate with our thoughts without the need for surgery.
So no need to drill holes in our skulls, that's a relief.
Right, and he uses the analogy of the iPhone to illustrate his point. Our early iPhones were pretty basic, but they revolutionized how we communicate. Similarly, even crude neural interfaces could be incredibly powerful.
Imagine being able to Google something just by thinking about it.
Yep.
Possibilities are endless.
Exactly. But Altman also acknowledges the ethical concerns surrounding neural interfaces, especially issues like fairness and access.
Yeah. If only some people can afford to enhance their brains with AI, that creates a whole new level of inequality.
Right. And Altman doesn't shy away from these questions. He emphasizes the need for open societal discussions about fairness and protecting the rights of those who choose not to merge with AI.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the ethical framework we build around it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Altman's perspective is interesting because he personally values the human experience. He even jokes that he wouldn't want a neural implant until everyone else had one.
So he's not some tech-obsessed futurist who's eager to abandon his humanity.
No. He seems to appreciate the uniqueness of being human, even as he acknowledges the transformative potential of AI. And speaking of transformative potential, that's where Rogan takes the conversation next into the realm of the simulation hypothesis. That idea that we might be living in a simulation. Yeah, Rogan always kind of likes to explore those fringes of thought. He brings up the idea that we might be living in a simulation. He really gets into the weeds on this one, suggesting our reality could be
Right.
like a highly advanced computer program
Right.
created by some unknown entity.
Yeah, it's a mind-blowing concept. Does Altman entertain this idea at all?
He does, actually. He doesn't claim to have any definitive answers, but he acknowledges that the simulation hypothesis is at least a very thought-provoking concept. It raises these fundamental questions about the nature of existence and, our place in the cosmos.
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in these abstract ideas. But Rogan and Altman bring it back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah.
Discussing something I think we can all relate to, social media and its impact on human behavior.
Yeah, both of them express concerns about the negative effects of social media, particularly on, our mental health and emotional well-being. Rogan highlights the work of Jonathan Haidt, who argues that the rise of social media is linked to increased rates of depression, anxiety, and even suicide among young people.
That's a sobering thought. What's Altman's take on this?
He pretty much agrees with Rogan, pointing out the addictive nature of these platforms and how they can just hijack our attention, leaving us feeling empty and dissatisfied. It goes back to their earlier discussion about how technology can both enhance and diminish the human experience.
Yeah, it's all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
We're using technology as a tool, but also being aware of its potential downsides. Sticking with this whole questioning reality thing, Rogan and Altman then kind of delve into their own experiences with psychedelics.
Yeah, this part of the conversation gets pretty personal. Both Rogan and Altman have spoken openly about their use of psychedelics in the past, and here they share some insights into how these substances can promote empathy, compassion, and a deeper understanding of consciousness.
We're talking about things like psilocybin mushrooms, LSD. They're not advocating for reckless drug use, are they?
Definitely not. They emphasize responsible use and the need for more research into the therapeutic potential of psychedelics. But they also seem to believe that these substances, when used thoughtfully, can offer profound insights into the nature of consciousness and our connection to the world around us.
Yeah, it's interesting how this ties back into their conversation about AI and the future of humanity. Where do Rogan and Altman see humanity heading in this rapidly changing world?
Well, they actually have somewhat different perspectives on this. Rogan seems to believe that humans, in our current biological form, will persist for a long time to come. He's holding on to that biological optimism.
But Altman has a different view.
He predicts a more transformative merge with AI, even suggesting that we might be the last generation of purely biological humans. He envisions a future where the lines between human and AI become increasingly blurred.
That's a bold prediction. What leads him to believe that?
He compares the current era to the early days of phones and the internet. Think about how quickly those technologies reshaped our world. Altman argues that we're just at the beginning of a similar revolution with AI, one that will fundamentally alter what it means to be human.
So he's not talking about AI just automating jobs or making our lives easier. He's talking about a future where we're fundamentally intertwined with AI.
Yeah.
Maybe even merging with it.
Exactly. And this raises all sorts of questions about identity, ethics, and the very essence of what it means to be human in a world so deeply intertwined with artificial intelligence.
It's a lot to process. We've covered everything from AI and jobs to psychedelics and the simulation hypothesis. It's like a crash course in the future of humanity.
What's so compelling about Rogan and Altman's conversation is that they don't shy away from the big questions. They acknowledge the potential benefits of AI, but they also grapple with the profound challenges and ethical dilemmas it presents.
Yeah, they don't provide any easy answers.
Yeah.
But they offer a framework for thinking about these complex issues.
And one of the most important takeaways is that the future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're actively shaping through the choices we make today.
So it's not just about sitting back and watching as AI evolves. It's about being active participants in creating a future where AI benefits all of humanity. That's a powerful message for all of us.
And one of the most important points Altman makes is that we need to approach AI with humility. We don't have all the answers, and we need to be open to learning and adapting as the technology develops.
Yeah, it's like we're venturing into uncharted territory. And we need to be prepared for the unexpected. One thing is for certain, this conversation about AI is just beginning.
Yeah.
It's clear from this conversation that AI is going to have a profound impact on all of us.
Yeah.
But I think what struck me most was Altman's emphasis on the ethical considerations surrounding AI.
Yeah, he repeatedly brings up the need to ensure fairness, transparency, and accountability as we develop these increasingly powerful systems. He's not just focused on the technical aspects of AI. He's deeply concerned about the societal implications.
And he's right to be. We've seen how quickly technology can be used for both good and bad. Social media is a perfect example. It's connected us in amazing ways, but also created a whole new set of problems.
Exactly. And AI has the potential to be even more transformative than social media. It's going to touch every aspect of our lives, from the way we work to the way we think.
So what can we do as individuals to ensure that AI is used for good?
Well, Altman stresses the importance of education and engagement. He encourages people to learn about AI, to understand its potential and its limitations, and to participate in the conversations about how AI should be developed and deployed.
So it's not just about leaving it to the experts. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Absolutely. Altman believes that AI is too important to be left to a select few. He wants to see a broad societal conversation about AI, one that involves everyone, from technologists to policymakers to everyday citizens.
It's like a collective responsibility, right?
Yeah.
We need to come together as a society to ensure that AI is used ethically and responsibly.
Exactly, and this conversation with Rogan is a great starting point. It raises some of the most important questions we need to be asking about AI, and it encourages us to think critically and creatively about the future we want to create.
You know, for all the talk about robots and simulations, what really stuck with me is Altman's belief in the human spirit.
Yeah, he's optimistic about our ability to adapt and thrive in this rapidly changing world. He believes that AI can be a powerful tool for good, and that we as humans have the wisdom and ingenuity to guide its development in a positive direction.
It's a hopeful message, and one that I think we all need to hear. AI is coming, and it's going to be transformative. But it's up to us to ensure that this transformation is one that benefits all of humanity.
And remember, grasshoppers, this is just the beginning of the conversation. We've only scratched the surface of what AI is and what it can do. There's so much more to explore and discuss.
So keep learning, keep asking questions,
Yeah.
and keep those deep dives coming. The future of AI is in our hands. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends. Thanks, grasshoppers.